Breaking news from Peter Bedell. Madge flies to Sydney to meet with Mitch Barnett. Now, we mentioned last night that Parramatta were interested in Mitch, but there's
Where'd they get the money from for hip brace?
Well, because your mate left.
Okay, fair enough.
So what happens
here?
They
got no footy advantage out of it. Anyway.
Well, they get it now, which is what they deserve, you know. Okay. So it's unlucky. Anyway, move on, Brendan. Move on, mate. Right. No, talk to me.
Oh, it's
Brisbane. Yeah, Madge.
I think he'd be a great signing from them, obviously. I mean, obviously, listen, Payne is huge, leaves a huge hole at that footy club, and they need a front rower. And I think Mitch Barnett, he's turned into a great leader, Mitch Barnett, right? I mean, I think we've seen it at the Warriors. He's a New South Wales front rower.
But wasn't it family reasons? So you think that he'd have to go back to Sydney? So if you're true to your word,
Taree maybe. I think
is that closer to Sydney or Newcastle?
I think it's closer to Newcastle. Yeah.
Right.
So it's going to be interesting, right? Because Cameron George has come out and said that they want a replacement. Reedy, what are your thoughts on that?
They won't get one. I'd be stunned if they got one.
But would they do with the money there, Reedy?
No, probably not. But you know what? They're probably a bit smarter. They'll probably take the cash and spend it on junior development and pathways and the goodwill that has.
That's good, mate. Just on that though, it is a bit different though, like because a few fans were messaging me today about it, because it's on compassionate ground. They can't stop him from going, you know, and they love him.
Could.
Yeah, but they're not going to, right? Yeah. So where does that leave him? Because we've kind of, a lot of people haven't, and glad you brought it up, because the Warriors, you know, they need him. You know, so it's a huge loss for them.
But at least they've given him 12 months as well. So like, I know you're saying, but there's 12 months for the Warriors. They go out into the market. Mitch Barnett has promised them that the deal's got to be right for both clubs, didn't he? Say that to the organisation?
Yeah. Well, I don't think New Zealand Warriors will maybe let it happen unless it works both ways. But I'd be stunned if they get to November or whatever and Mitch Barnett wants to go to Brisbane or Newcastle or Para and there's not a player that fits the purpose for a trade. I'd be stunned if New Zealand Warriors said no. I mean, they've come out public and said it's on compassionate grounds. And then you're going to turn around and go, we didn't get the right player, so you're not going now?
Yeah. All right, Cooper Cronk outlined his concerns around the Broncos this week on Maddie and Cronk. Take a look.
Going back-to-back is not a football performance thing. Like, the Broncos are the best talented team in the competition. Yeah. You know, if Walsh plays to his standard, Ezra Mann, Patrick Carrigan, Payne Haas, put Hunt and Reynolds together, absolutely they should.
Yep.
But there's a big question mark around me whether those best players have the desire to, absolutely do all the one percenters again, because it is hard. I think the Broncos finish top 4.
Yeah.
I don't think they go back-to-back.
All right, Cooper Cronk there. Great analysis, one of the best. And if anyone can talk to it, it is him. And I don't think he's alone. I think there's a few that may agree with him. Do you guys agree with Cooper there?
I had him, top 1 or 2 pre-Christmas, but since this Payne Haas situation and their performance I know you can't take much in the World Club Challenge, right? But it's just feeding the stigma that's around the club at the moment. So they need to start well. They really do. Otherwise, that noise will continue to build. I don't think they can go back to back.
Yeah.
I think they can go back to back. I think there's any doubt. They've got Reece Walsh, Payne Haas, Ezra Mann. We talk about great spines. We spoke about them earlier. Their spines are up there with the elite. Ben Hunt at hooker and Adam Reynolds in the halves. I've got no doubt they can go back to back.
Yeah, if they stay healthy, they can. They do have.
That's the key.
They do have enough talent. And Reece Walsh is a freak, and Payne Haas. It's how they get through Origin. I said it last year. It's how Brisbane get through the Origin.
If Reece Walsh catches fire in September this year, they can win the comp.
I understand what Cooper's saying, and that's a massive concern. But I'm actually going to agree with you, Rudy. There you go.
For the first time tonight. Hello.
No, I do. I think with the star power they've got and the likes of Reece Walsh, I said at the start of last year, I think he'll be the best player in our game at some point. He will be the best player, and it's hard backing up after you win a premiership, though. It really is. And do you have that added desire? And there are a few rumblings, and just on that. Have we heard any more? Is there any uncertainty or players unhappy up there that, the rumours that are swirling?
You can read into the Payne Haas situation what you like, Braith. Arguably their most important player. Reece Walsh is, their most talented player, but Payne Haas, I'd argue, is the most important player. Leaves after winning a grand final when the club wanted to keep him. It's totally different to the Penrith situation where we saw players leave because they had bigger money offers. This is a completely different situation. So I know Payne's has come out and said it's got nothing to do with the coach, but I think you have to read into what's happened. I don't think he's entirely happy with how things have played out over Brisbane in the last couple of months.
There's always rumblings around Madge in Brisbane. There was last year, right? It's whether he can do what he did last year and calm them down. And
the hardest thing for Michael Maguire, right, would be going, I know what works, right? Because he won a comp at South, he's won a comp at Brisbane, won a comp, won New South Wales and New Zealand. So he can't change his ways because, and full credit, he's of the belief, well, what I do works, right? So this is where the confusion and that element comes into it.
And it's such a big story. It won't go away. It won't go away, just like last year. Thank you, Mick Rudy. You brought the gloves and you held them up. I thought you did a great job. Honestly, you come for war tonight.
Well, I thought I was on the right side, bro. I was on the right side.
How do you think you went before you go?
On fire.
You got a new nickname.